And we are rolling. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Kirby Kwan Jr. And once again, we are back for the Ghetto Fabulous Podcast. And also joining me once again will be Shane from Japan. How you doing today, Shane?
Yo, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing miserable. So for some reason or another, every time we do this, and I say every time even though we've only done this like twice, I'm sick for some reason. This time I kind of know why. But it always varies. By the way, just so that we don't go too out of hand with this, I'm actually going to start a timer right now. So I'll monitor that to make sure that we don't drag this out for too long like last time. We're both cosplayers.
Yeah.
So one of the first questions or topics sort of, or whatever, that has got me thinking is when I say that, hey, I cosplay a little bit here and there. I dabble into the community and the craft and everything. Sometimes I get, actually no, almost every single time I always get, oh shit, really? And it's not like a condescending thing, but it's got me thinking. Is cosplay something that is typically deemed or seen more so as a quote unquote girl thing to do? What are your thoughts and opinions on that, Shane? Because you and I are both, somewhat cosplayers to a degree.
When you say girl thing to do, what do you mean? Like,
exactly what I mean. It's only for women, so to speak. I feel like that's a general. I feel like as a what's it called, surface statement or whatever. That's what most non-cosplayers or people who are new to the community or not aware of the community think of. And when I, as a grown man, say I still play dress up, essentially, they're like, "What? I thought only girls do that." That's the reaction and thought process, basically. So what are your thoughts on that?
Really? Wow.
To an extent. Well, you also need to remember, I'm not just a man. I'm an ugly man.
Jeez, come on.
With a lot of confidence, though, so don't worry.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's... I don't know, actually, because I always think of cosplay more as something to respect, almost.
Put some respect on my costume.
Yeah, in the sense that, like, you're willing to go through all that trouble, you're willing to go through all that effort to actually, like, build out something for yourself, which I think is really admirable to a person.
Yeah, a lot of people are completely unaware of the sheer mental resilience that, like, a cosplayer takes, especially if they craft everything together. Even if you piece your costume together, like, there's still a lot of mental resilience. You got to worry about like shipping times and when you're going to receive it, if it will even fit you or what moderations you need to make. And then if you're building from scratch, it's even worse. You need to, like even if you buy templates, you need to adapt it to your proportions or if you're completely, or if a pattern doesn't exist, like how I did for Shredder, you need to completely draw that shit out and stuff. It's very stressful sometimes. I know of a certain cosplayer. We both know her. Absolutely no names, but you know exactly who you is. And she always con crunches. I don't know how she does it. It is very, very admirable in regards to how she's capable of doing so. But at the same time, you need to drink more water, woman.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know, because to me, it's like, when it comes down to... like whether it's like if that's a thing for girls only, I think that's a little fucked up, because
that's like a rude well, not rude as in the literal sense, I'm using Toronto slang, but like that's a really big generalization and blanket statement, right?
Yeah, because the thing is, like, I got into cosplay like maybe 6 years ago now. And
so
to me,
2013-ish?
It was like 2013. I was like looking into it, like really delving into it. And then 2014, I actually produced something, right? That's what I meant, sorry.
Okay.
And for me, it was like, there's so many like amazing cosplayers out there, right? And I can kind of see some validity with what you're saying in the sense that a lot of like the big famous cosplayers are are usually like girls, right? That you see.
Wait, hold on to that. Just to clarify, that blanket statement that I'm quoting, it's not my opinion. It's just something that I get criticized for. Just in case if anyone fucking puts words in my mouth, I need to fucking put that out there.
No, don't worry about that. I mean, like, I'm not saying that that's coming from you or anything like that, right? But just like, okay, I'm talking at the statement. I'm not talking at Kirby. I'm talking at that statement.
I mean, technically, it's okay.
You know what I mean.
Do I really? I don't even know what that noise was.
Because when you think about big cosplayers, right? A lot of the times, what you hear about are like, the female cosplayers, like the Jessica Negri.
Jessica Negris, nice.
Wow, holy shit.
That's sync though.
What was that other one? The
Allison
Asian one?
Tabitha. No,
Yui,
I thought no.
Yui Han?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't quite remember. You hear about that. Then you hear about Kamui cosplay, alright? Like, she's a really big crafter.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, like, from what I've seen, the only real recognized, like, sort of male cosplayer that I know is known as Vulpin Props. And they make props professionally. There was a video game a while back, Mass Effect, right, that had a live action trailer. They built the entire armor themselves and the guns.
Fuck.
Yeah. When it comes down to like big like male cosplayers, like let's say something on the degree of Jessica Negri or Yui Han, I can't say I know any, right? And that could just be my own ignorance, right? Like maybe I just haven't looked everywhere, and I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to look everywhere.
Have you heard of Kirby Kwan Jr.?
No, actually. Who's that loser?
You're fucking talking to him, bitch.
Yeah.
What do you think are sort of like some big general mistakes that people do when they cosplay, or what are some rules? You can answer either or because they kind of go hand in hand.
I'm not quite sure I know what you mean. Like,
okay, cool. I'll give you an example. I feel like it's very important to know what you're cosplaying for. And
okay.
This is a really good example that I always say. Are you cosplaying for a convention where you are there as a patron to enjoy the convention and you want to dress up as your favorite character, or are you cosplaying for a company or an event that backs you up? Because if you're there on your own, you need to have a certain degree of care and accessibility. That's what I mean.
True.
So, because let's say my classic example is Batman. Gray jumpsuit. Like I said, if you dress up as Batman, you're basically disabling at least like 3 senses. Let's say. And if you don't have a like motherfuckers to back you up, you can't go to the washroom on your own unless you make some sacrifices. When I adapt costumes,
oh my god,
yeah, like they never show you in Avengers or nothing, but when do these motherfuckers pee?
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean,
how many times has Jarvis says you peed in your own cosplay?
No. I experienced the difficulty of needing to go to the bathroom in the cosplay.
Yeah, because when I cosplayed as Batman, granted I somehow managed to not need to pee the whole day, but if I had to, I was prepared.
Nice. Okay, what'd you do? Just like his regular pants and zipper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sense. I know that according to how light works, usually light sources are from above, and everything beneath is going to be drowned in shadows, especially if you have a cape. So I never really got worried about how the bottom half looked, as long as it was still around the same color.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. We're gonna talk about this later, but like you need to stress test your cosplay.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ, like the problem with a lot of my cosplays, alright, is that there's a lot of loose ends in certain parts, alright? So I have to sort of specifically, like very, very precisely, right, put them in, right, so that they don't come back out, right? And the thing is, when that comes loose, but I'm still in the cosplay, well, I'm fucked because I only was able to put that in, right, like the first time around. now I got shit in my hands. Now I got like a sword, all right, and I'm walking around, all right. It's not setup time anymore, so I don't have anyone to help me out either.
Stress fucking A. Stress testing and troubleshooting is very important because you don't want to be, especially if you have friends with you, because you don't want to be a nuisance to them.
Yeah.
And this is why this is one of the main reasons why I'm afraid, or I'm really against con crunching. No disrespect to a certain person that we may or may not know. That may or may not already showed up in my vlogs. Fuck it, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's the reason why my two main reasons why I don't like con crunching is because number one is you don't have time to test things. You know, if things get out of hand or things just break down, you won't know. Or by the time you find out, you might get fucked. And if you like planned a photo shoot or some shit too, and that shit malfunctions, you're kind of fucked. Especially if it's like a main piece. You know, like if you dropped like a ring, fuck it. But let's say if you drop like a headpiece, like a helmet or like a mask, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's very difficult for you to lose that. But if it breaks, for example, or if it splits because the glue didn't adhere properly or some shit, you know, those are big things that you could have fixed beforehand if you were given another 2-3 days.
Yeah.
My own friend, no names, my own friend fucked up in this case because he bought a costume, he tried it on and it fit him well, and then he just said, okay, I'm done with it. And this was like before the convention too. And then come the convention day, things just kept on like flopping. He lost like a prop that he bought. It was only $4 though, so it's all good. And things weren't sticking together properly. His pants had no pockets, so he couldn't store his phone there. And then he had to put his phone in his backpack, and he would always be the first one to get lost. So it was a pain. Don't be that guy. You know, give yourself some time to prep for things like that.
Absolutely. The one thing though that I feel like a lot of people don't stress test with their cosplay is comfort as well as temperature, because holy shit, EVA foam armor does not breathe. It really doesn't. In fact, I think it insulates.
Yeah, I would know.
Oh my god. Yeah, right? And the thing is, like, when you put on a cosplay, let's say for Anime North specifically, right? Anime North is not known for very well air-conditioned facilities, except for maybe some of the hotels, but there's so many goddamn people, you probably won't even be able to tell.
And mind you, this happens during May in the summer.
Oh, fuck me. Yep.
Although this year wasn't that bad, though.
No, this year was pretty good, I heard.
How would you know? You weren't there. I'm kidding.
I said I heard.
After the fact, yeah.
Yeah. But last year, I went in my cosplay of Blood Moon Yasuo, right?
Jesus.
And mine is like big armor, right? Like armor over my entire chest, right? Over my legs, all right? Going all the way down to my feet. I had a mask, all right? And some, I guess, arm guards as well, right? And
yes.
I need to wear black under all that. And I didn't have anything that was black outside of black sweatpants and a black hoodie.
Jesus.
Yeah,
you really could have met me then.
Yeah, I really could have. Jesus Christ. And so I put all that shit on, as well as like a ninja hood around my face, right? Because, you know, the mask has to hide somewhere, right? And when I walked through that convention, right, first 30 minutes, not bad, right? Pretty good, right? By the end of the day, I wanted to die. Because I was just dripping in sweat. It drains your spirit, man. It exhausts you as the days goes on. Oh, God. And you just feel like the foam rubbing up against you as you keep moving, right? It's really annoying to me. But yeah, sorry.
For any like potential newbies, so to speak, or there's a word for it. For people who want to get interested in cosplaying, don't get too intimidated by that. There are ways around it. The way that I typically sort of try to negate that issue is I try to have at least the sides to be damn near completely ventilated. So what I typically do is underneath all the armor and stuff is I wear like a moisture wicking sport type of shirt. So typically they're referred to as athletic skins or compression shirt. And basically it just allows your body to breathe. And then you have main breathing access points, which should be the underarms, the sides, and a little bit of the elbows and sort of like where your joints are, and that will help a lot.
I wish I knew that back then. Jesus. Like, when it comes down to cosplay, right, it's really just understanding one thing as well, right? And I feel like this is one of the most important things, is that you won't get it perfect. And it's not to say
Speak
that
for
you
yourself.
can't.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, it's not to say that you can't, right? And the only reason that I'm saying this is because I don't want people to stress, right? Like, like crazy, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna like, get this detail down to the very, very essence of perfection. Like, I'm gonna make it like smooth. It's gonna like have that right shine, all right? A, that's really expensive. B, trust me, it's not worth it. Because when it comes to cosplay, right, there is a certain distance that you can just look at someone and be like, yeah, that looks perfect. And it's really not.
Or even like if your body type doesn't match the character, fuck it. There are ways around it if you really want to accomplish it, but also like make it so that you are the character rather than the character being you, or maybe the other way around. I just confused myself. Never mind. Let's talk about, back to the topic of con crunch. Have you done it before?
Yes.
I'm assuming you're not a fan of it.
No, I hate it. Well, what happens is, alright, you are constantly in a state of stress, right? Think,
Yes.
you know what? Here's a really good example, alright? Here's a good way to understand it, right? Have you ever set yourself an alarm? Of course you have, right? And you're just waiting for it to go off. That's what con crunching feels like, but all the time.
Oh, okay.
Because, alright, you're just sitting there, right, and you're working away at your thing, alright, like over and over and over, every day, in and out, right, no breaks, alright, because if you take a break, alright, you're just not going to be able to finish. You have this whole set of steps set up in your head, right, and you sit there, and you have the material in front of you, and you start working, alright, and at a certain point, you're just like, I don't want to look at this fucking thing ever again. That's con crunching.
Imagine how scary it is when you work on this piece and you think, oh, I got everything great, and then you realize that it's not going to work, as in the sizing is wrong or something. Because that's something that happened to me this year.
Yeah.
Fun fact about that, by the way. After I got it painted, like I made two pieces, one in the bigger size, one in the smaller size, which is the first one that I did. I realized the smaller size actually worked out better.
Well, fuck. So
yeah, now I have this extra, slightly larger chest piece.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, alright, like, for me, alright, like, what happened was that con crunching became so absolutely, like, dreadful, alright, that I couldn't fall asleep properly anymore either. Because when I went to sleep, alright, all I would do was think about the cosplay. Same. I would think like, oh, I still got this to do, I still got that to do, there's still like A, B, C, X, Y, Z, whatever, right?
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, it's like, at no point do you get yourself a break. At no point do you start thinking like, man, I am so done with this cosplay.
And the other thing too is some people might be saying, oh, well, if it's well planned, then you won't need to worry about that. That's what I thought. But then I did have to worry about that because a sudden shift of circumstances took a week's worth of work away from me. And then I suddenly had to, like, con crunch. I had 4 days to do the costume. And even though I did have a very strong game plan going in, there was one thing that did fuck up. And I had to adapt it. And I almost gave up over that one thing. And it was towards the end, which is why I didn't give up, was because I'll tell you what it is. Basically, it was I got all the parts ready. I just needed to find a way to attach the shoulders while still being able to wear it on my own and not need any help. and my initial plan did not work, and I was freaking the fuck out.
Yep, that's God, that's just the way the stupid con crunch works.
So I finished it on the day of, which is not something that I like to do. I usually finish it about 3 weeks or even a month in advance, so that I could even shoot a video and stuff, and the video will work as my test trial and troubleshoot phase, and then I could figure it all out.
Yeah.
Also, there was a phase where I just made suits.
What do you mean by suits?
Or made armors and costumes to be basically stunt ready, so I know that they're not gonna fall apart.
Yeah, there you go. So you already have like all that experience.
But even then, it's still fucking scary, bro.
It is, and like I don't know where this fear comes from, cause I guess it's like self-created at that point, or like, you know, you just kind of like build up this whole tension in your mind of like it has to be perfect, and it will be, you know, like as long as I like stay up and do all this work and keep going at it till however so long, right? I have to finish. I just have to finish is what you keep telling yourself.
Not only that, but also for me, like sometimes, like if I start, like there's this whole meme where it's like, oh, day 1, day 2, day 3. I don't want the quality of it to deteriorate. I want it to be at the same level, like consistently good throughout the whole thing.
Oh, fuck. That's tough. That's so tough.
Yeah, especially if you have an armor with so many segmented areas and different textures and surface details, like it will fuck you up.
Yep, as well as like various pieces that you still have to paint, shape and mold. It's oh god, it's too much. I vowed to myself that I would never ever con crunch after dealing with that one uncompromising person.
I've only done it once, and I pray to God I never need to do it again.
Yeah, because if you've ever thought that you've been like, let's say, mentally exhausted, right? There is no mental exhaustion as close to
the first time you lose your virginity.
Well,
I'm joking. That's another topic for another day.
Maybe, yeah. We'll talk about that some other time. Jesus.
How do I fuck her in the ass? How does this work?
No.
What does this have to do with cosplay again? I don't even know, man. But shit, I'm leaving it in there. I don't give a fuck. That was funny.
Sure.
Hey, fuck y'all. But
sure, why not?
Let's just very quickly talk about, you know, I know that the cosplay community is very much about positivity and shit, but objectively speaking, sometimes you will see a cosplay, look at it, and think to yourself, or
yeah.
Nani? Or
yeah.
There's no more noises I could think of. Yeah.
Nande?
大丈夫? Because I know that there's a cosplayer out there, and he's done this all his life. I shouldn't say all his life, but like for quite a long time. And for some reason, every time Shane sees this person, he starts to lose his shit and start laughing like a motherfucker. You can already hear it. God. You can already hear it. I'm not even showing him a photo or anything. So the funniest thing about this whole entire thing was as this was happening, right? Our friend Ruby comes by and she's trying to be the voice of reason, telling Shane, that's fucked up of you. Can't always be laughing at motherfuckers like that for no reason. You know, this man's trying to do his best. And then Shane responds with, but he's so fucking ugly.
I did not call it.
Motherfucker, you said that. And then he showed her she showed Ruby a photo of him, and then she starts losing her shit too.
Oh my god.
She's trying her best to hold it back, but
it's so obvious.
I think I don't know what's more fucked up. The fact that you're laughing at someone trying to do their best, or the fact that you're laughing at him not even because of the costumes, it's just because you find him ugly.
I can't even say, to be honest.
It's almost like I don't know. It's almost like an instant trigger for to get Shane to laugh.
Because it's just like...
See, I'm not even showing it to him, and I'm just merely mentioning this event or this altercation of actions or whatever, and he's already losing his shit.
Just look at it.
I mean, I even met the dude, and he's a pretty cool dude. Like, he's a pretty like normal dude. White dude.
Oh my god. Okay.
So what are some like cosplay is such a genuinely broad thing, right? Like it you know, some say it's a culture, some say it's a physical act that can be objectively defined as just, you know, dress up, but even that's very general. So sort of what would you say cosplay both as a term and a verb means to you?
Ooh, oh boy.
Because you know, there's a lot of people out there that sort of just see like cosplay as just like a very weird, controversial thing. So like,
yeah,
you know, let's talk upon that. Like what are some like controversies or controversial shit that you've seen?
This has always been a controversy, like with the cosplay group, right, and the cosplay community in general, of just like, do lewd cosplays count as cosplays? And I feel like
that's a very subjective thing,
muddled with the whole like, oh, like, you know, body positivity argument, and like, you know, oh, like, you know, cosplay is what you make it. You know, it can be all this or it could be that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, which is like great, self-empowering. Sure, why not, right?
Yeah.
But I find that there is a specific line, right, between you bought the cosplay and then you made the cosplay. And what I mean by that is, right, cosplay to me has always just been like being able to craft out what I see, right, into the world now, right? I buy the materials, the raw materials, I bend them, I break them, I paint them, all that stuff, right, into what I think is the armor, or the gauntlet, or the wig, or the headpiece, or whatever, right?
Okay, sure.
But when people go out and just, like, buy the entire cosplay, like, for super, super cheap off of AliExpress, right? Sure, that's fine, I think, alright? If you don't have the money, you know, to actually, like, you know, go through the whole process of building it and stuff like that. If you literally found the whole thing cheaper and it looks good, it's good quality, alright? And you like it, all the more power to you. But I don't know if I would call you a full-fledged cosplayer at that point.
I'm going to agree with you to some degree and just sort of amend some of your words so that
Sure.
the opinion shifts.
Sure.
To me, in my opinion, there's two types of cosplayers. There are those who are models, and then there are those who are crafters. And crafters could be models too. The thing is, they can't be interchanged. Like, a crafter could be a model, but a model, like strictly a model, can't quite be a crafter. That's the way that I see it. If you want to put on a costume to look like the character and you buy it, that's cool. Well, to an extent, because I still feel like you should, in my opinion, it's always good to piece together something. You could buy a costume and get started with it, and then when you piece it together, not because like I have the pride of a crafter, but genuinely it will look and most importantly feel better for the person in the costume.
Yeah.
I feel like crafters sometimes have a lot of pride in what they make, as they sort of should to a degree. And then when they put down like other, like, you know, the quote unquote models of the cosplay community, then there's a fine line between sort of, I guess, competitive nature, so to speak, and maliciousness. I don't know why I paused there, but maliciousness. And the way that I've always viewed it is, if two cosplayers look identical and one of them bought/pieced together their costume, whereas the other one completely made their costume, aside from looking good, I could also respect the hustle of putting it together. Now, if the crafter though spent significantly more money, I'm talking about like 5 times the money into the costume rather than just buying it, and the result is just the same or equal to, then I begin to say, as impressive and talented as that is, was it really worth it? Now, for us, it's going to be no, but obviously to the person, it might be a yes, because to them, it might be the journey. And then that's when I say, when does, like, what are the extents that you will reach, so to speak? Because
right.
I've always said it myself. The reason why I can't fully take cosplay completely seriously as a job for me is because I can't, and I'll own up to this right now, I can't put myself through the stress of knowing that things are out there that I could buy and I need to make this myself, Yeah. Knowing what I am capable of is one thing, and then knowing how sustainable that capability is for both time as well as money. Because let's be honest, like that shredder costume I made, it will suffice, and it will suffice for a good time too, and it's cheap to make. Yes, it's not as flexible as it could have been if I casted it in a foam latex or even a urethane for that purpose and just have the pivot points. Yes, it's not as durable as perhaps a urethane rubber or a polyurethane base with a latex with a base of casted polyester and shit. I'm aware of all these things. I know how it works, but here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that, I could just get, latex and boom, there you go. That's done. That's not entirely true, because you need to get a body cast is the best way to go. But if you can't get your body cast, you need a generic body cast. You need to sculpt on that, and then you have to take a mold of it. And if it's a big piece, that's a lot of materials just for the mold. And then you have to cast it, and then you have to finish it. And if the casting goes wrong, the biggest beginner's error to casting anything is air bubbles. And for certain materials like expanding foam, it's almost unavoidable. It's hard to fix, or it's gonna be there for certain, and then you have to learn how to fix that up, yada yada yada. If your casting does not work out properly, or there's too much flashing and then you cut off too much, guess what? You need to do it all over again. And to aim for that degree of perfection, you really do need to be obsessed with the craft. I am not on that level. I'm not obsessed with it, and I don't mean obsessed in a bad way. I mean, this is your life's dedication, and this is what you worked hard for. I work hard, just not hard enough for me to be on that level in terms of a sustainability manner.
Okay.
And if people already think that with just simple foam armor, for example, I'm using foam and like as an EVA foam and latex as an example. If they already think about that on that level and they want to buy the store-bought stuff, makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
But then there are people, and I treat cosplay similar to fashion, where, yes, you might know all these techniques. That's just the hype. If you can't apply that properly, then the talent isn't there. For example, I'm going to use fashion now. You could be aware of all these brands out there, but if you have no sense of fashion, you will be exposed. You will not have a sense of fashion. That is just the truth.
Yeah.
And it's not. And for people to say, oh, so you're saying you're only about people cosplaying if they have hot bodies and shit. I am the one guy that has the most what's that word I'm looking for? The least ideal body to cosplay. Big shoulders, big hips, small, tiny, thin limbs. That is the opposite of what you want. Maybe the shoulders is okay, but that is the opposite of what you want. You don't want to be a potato with toothpicks on it. If anything, because it's hard for you to build up the arms. No, it's easy to build up the limbs, but then you have to shed everything off. That's really difficult. That is that is not ideal. I know these things, and I know the workaround to it. I understand body types and how to change it. That, to me, is the most quintessential piece of knowledge in cosplaying. And if you're able to adapt, and that's why, in my opinion, cosplaying is for most, if not all, body types. And if you have a more fucked up body type or non-ideal body type like myself for cosplaying, and you're able to adapt it, then that's the reason why I say it is for everybody. There's no body shame in that.
Fair.
I just went on to a tangent, sort of. I don't really know where I was going with that, I'll be honest.
No, it's fine, it's fine. I don't know, because the reason why I draw that line so deeply in the sand, right, is because there has been controversy after controversy after controversy of, like, you know, big female cosplayers, alright, you know, kind of just being there to show off their boobs, right? And a lot of them are, like, they're made fun of, right, because of that, right? They're made fun of because, like, oh, all you did was buy a bikini, like, you know, and it's barely even about the character. Is that considered a cosplay? You hear that question so often when it comes in the community, right? Like, there's just so many stories and just so much, like, drama over, like, you know, this one cosplayer did this one cosplayer did that, alright? It's almost like a real life Hollywood, almost. Yeah. And the thing is, like, it does come across to me, right, as, like, somewhat low effort. A good example of this was, okay, so, do you know the cosplayer Momo-kun?
Sounds very vaguely familiar.
Yeah, there's a huge controversy with her and Anime Expo, which is the biggest anime convention in America, right? And what it was, alright, was that, you know, she was just being kind of a shitty person. She was kind of racist towards a lot of people, you know, sexually harassed a few of them, you know. That's what I heard. About. Yeah. All that stuff, right? So, what happened once was, like, she was doing a cosplay for Bowsette when that was a big thing. Right?
Of course. Yeah.
And supposedly, alright, like, she was late to actually cosplaying it, because she bought her hat, as far as I can confirm, and she was late because she waited for, like, 3 or 4 day shipping or something like that, rather than pay for it express and then put it on then, right? And someone in the comments actually pointed that out. Someone in the comments on, like, that post is just like, I can't believe, like, she couldn't even pay for express on this. You call yourself a cosplayer? And it's just like, that sort of rhetoric isn't exactly helpful in any way, and you hear it just so goddamn often in the cosplay community sometimes, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to the lewd cosplayers, when it comes to them, like, you know, are you really cosplaying or are you modeling, right? Are you here to show off your boobs or are you here to play the character, right?
Well, what is cosplay, though? Because to me, I see it as modeling yourself as a character, right? Again, this is why I say cosplay is very subjective in that degree, because there's no fine, strong, hard, objective definition. I mean, I guess there is, which is dress up, right? But that alone is very general. Mm-hmm. So I feel like most of the controversies come from people who, I'm not going to say are ignorant, but are sort of unaware of the fact that there is a culture behind it. In fact, and I'll say this right now, I myself, I'm very, like, I have sort of the skills to a degree, or an understanding of the skills of crafting everything, but I'm not big into the culture. Not as in I'm not a fan, as in I'm very unaware of it. So when I hear things like this, that's when I say cosplay is a culture and I am very foreign to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people are too, if they're not a part of the said culture. The good thing about that, though, is, from what I, very vaguely experienced, the culture of cosplay is very new, as in young, as a culture, as a culture, let's say, and also very open.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do see very toxic things happening in said community, I'm fucking entertained. I can't even lie.
Well, everyone loves, what do you call this stuff again?
Gossip and shit?
Gossip, yeah. Everyone just loves gossip, of course, right? It makes for great stories, makes for great drama. But yeah, like, I think that is the main issue with the community itself, which is that no one can come up with a solid definition of what cosplay actually means anymore, right?
I mean, you and I know a cosplayer that does lewd sometimes.
I know a number of cosplayers that do lewd cosplays.
Okay, fine. I'll give you a hint. We met this person on the same day. You keep on getting their name wrong.
Oh.
That's so fucked up, by the way.
I know way more than just that one. Don't worry.
I know, but I'm just saying we know that one because that's someone that we could easily know who it is, and I don't need to pull up photos or anything.
Yeah. No, and like they got the skills. Like they really got the skills.
Yeah, and this person like explained her philosophy on that too.
I don't remember it actually.
Yeah, I was about to say. Unfortunately, I don't remember the fuck it was because I was just scrolling through Instagram while I was taking a shit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Hey, like don't tell me you don't do that when you're taking a shit. When it's a long one and you know you're gonna be trapped in there for more than like 15 minutes, you pull your phone out, you're on your IG. Own up to that shit, boy. Keep that same energy. But yeah.
It's never just Instagram though, but yeah.
Well, speaking of another cosplayer, Ruby, stop fucking messaging us. Hi Ruby, I'm in the middle of a cosplay with Shane right now, so
a cosplay?
Nice. Did I say cosplay? I did say cosplay.
You said cosplay?
I did. No, I did. I'm using speech to text. Podcast with Shane right now, so, it would be nice if you not distract us. Also, please come on the podcast on time as well.
Sure, yeah. So, yeah.
Love you.
Oh, man. Like, I think the problem is, right, like, people are getting their terms wrong. People aren't nailing down what they actually mean when they think of cosplay. You did a really good job of, like, separating out the two of just being like, are you a model or are you a crafter, sorry.
Oh, by the way, that's just strictly an opinion because, like I said, cosplay itself is very subjective. That's just the way that I view it, at least at this very time too, because opinions could change as well. So it's definitely cool if you have different opinions and stuff, and feel free to share this in the comment section if I ever post this. But yeah,
if you ever post this, okay.
Well, first thing first, I gotta cut out so much bullshit we said in this, bruh. There's a reason why I let it go on for so long, because we said some bullshit in this. Yeah. And I know only half of this is usable, because the other half we just exposed people and ugly people.
The fact that you said ugly people.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, fine. People that you find ugly.
Oh, shit. No, I agree.
You agree that they're ugly?
Well, to a certain degree, but yeah, you cut this part out. Cut this shit out. Like,
no, I'm keeping this part in, but I'm removing all the context, so it's completely stupid.
Okay, fine, fair.
But yeah.
But yeah, I don't think this is a thing that will ever really get solved in the cosplay community. I feel like it's always going to be like a cemented issue no matter what. Whether people start agreeing on certain things, right, is like, not gonna happen.
Speaking of that, my very first convention, Anime North 2014. So I did a whole lot of quote-unquote rookie mistakes, but at the same time, I went there as if I was prepared, because I had one of the more complex cosplays, even though I could tell you the flaws of it now, but then when it was still fresh, it looked beastly and shit. I kept on getting asked for photos. A motherfucker called me a Power Ranger, but whatever. I was dressed up as Snake Eyes, and then
okay.
So on paper, I look like I've done this many times before. I have never fucking done this before. And the reason why I say I made a rookie mistake was I went alone, even though my friend said I'll be there. So I'm just gonna call you out, Cedric. Fuck you. You weren't there. You lying sack of shit.
Yeah.
So so I went alone. I was in cosplay from head to toe, covered in all black, in armor. So in some areas there was probably about like maybe 5 inches of black that didn't come out right.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
In the hot sun as well, and this was like when Anime North was like blazing at like 30 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Shit.
In Fahrenheit, it's a number that I don't know, and Fahrenheit is stupid anyways. But
sure,
it was hot as fuck. I was lonely, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Why are people? Like I'm not like social. I'm not like a what's it called, an introvert or nothing, but I just wasn't used to people fucking taking photos. I'm like, why are you fucking pulling out your cameras and phones and taking photos of me? Fucking ask at least. And I was like freaking out and shit, right?
This is your first. Wow, this was really your first time for a lot of this, huh?
But another reason why I say it would, from the outside, it would look like I know what I'm doing is, for some stupid reason, I felt the need to act like my character, and thankfully my character is mute.
Nice.
So I'm not saying anything. And like I said, from head to toe covered in black, even my eyes, I had a visor, so you don't even know where the fuck I'm looking.
Wow.
So literally from the outside, I just look like someone who's done this forever. But meanwhile, on the inside, I'm like low-key getting claustrophobic. Not really claustrophobic until when I get like 5 motherfuckers like surrounding me trying to take photos and shit. But like, but yeah, it was a weird experience for me.
Damn. Okay, I understand.
I had something else to say, but I forgot what it was because I just remembered how claustrophobic I felt.
Sure, no worries.
Quick question. It's just something I just completely thought of out of the blue.
Sure.
And I was just wondering if you could relate to this. Has you ever cosplayed as a character, and then someone sees you in public outside of the con?
Yeah.
Dude, what was that like? And who was the character?
That was an awkward moment. 2 seconds.
Yeah, I could. My story is kind of fucked, so.
Okay. For me, it was, I was dressed up as Blood Moon Shen.
Okay.
Really early on in my cosplay days, right? And I had this, one white guy just staring at me in the subway the whole ride through. And when I finally looked at him, right, he looked away. So I faced back front, right? And when I faced back front, I could see him turn back and look at me. It just kind of that was it. And after that point, I was just like, well, I'm just gonna stare at my phone because fuck this guy.
For me, I was coming back home from Anime North one day. This is 2014, I think.
Sure.
I was dressed up as Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. So think of someone. So basically, all black paramilitary gear. No face showing at all. I'm wearing a 360-degree mask and everything, and there's a visor, so you can't even see my eyes and shit. And I was in the car. My dad was pumping gas, and then he went in to pay, and then, mind you, I live in the ghetto, so this is extra funny for me. This dude sees me through the windshield, right?
Mm.
And then he just stands there for a solid 2 seconds. And I'm not moving. I'm not moving at all right now. So I'm trying to make him believe that I'm a statue, or something like that. So then he walks closer towards the car, and then I tap the glass real quick. This fool fucking.
Oh shit!
This fool fucking drops to the ground, out of he runs away, but he drops to the ground, and then he continues running.
Oh my god.
I'm such a dick.
So you scared the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, basically I jump scared him.
Nice.
I think the thing that scared him was when I tapped the glass.
Oh my god.
This whole fucking ran.
Oh shit, that is hilarious. Oh my god. What the fuck, man?
Yo, I was 17 maybe, 18 maybe, I don't know. I was just being a dick.
I know.
Wait, no, I was 16, yeah. I'm pretty sure I was 16. I don't fucking know.
Alright, well, there you go. But yeah. For me, it was just having people stare at you, alright? And, it's something that you really shouldn't be surprised by. This has to happen if you're going to do cosplay and you need to take public transport. So, yeah. Just get used to it.
I once dressed up as Batman, and going there, Cindy and I took an Uber, and then when we went back, we all went to the subway. Now, when a girl has black eyeshadow, it looks whatever. But when a dude has black eyeshadow on, here's the fucked up thing too. I had so much. I think it's eyeshadow. I don't know what it is. It might be eyeliner. I don't know. And I had it all over my eyes so that it blends into the mask. So.
Oh, is it the shit that Oliver Queen wears? And
grease paint,
that a mask? Sure. Yeah.
Well, It's actual makeup because Cindy came through with it, and then
All right.
I try to wash it off with water, and I didn't realize that there was something called a makeup remover.
Oh God.
So I try to wash it off with water, and most of it came out. But then I realized I look like a fucking K-pop star of that era.
Ooh.
Except I wasn't dressed like one, so I look weird as shit. Because I had my batsuit in a giant ass bag, and then like I'm wearing like these like cargo pants and some boots, so I just look fucking confused. And I'm drenched in sweat in areas.
Gross.
Yeah, it was fucking weird.
Yeah.
My hair looked like it was greased. I guess that might have helped, but I don't know. Motherfucker stared at me. I had my phone with me, but I didn't have no no headphones, so I couldn't even block it out.
Shit, that's awkward.
Yeah, when I was still chilling with like the people that I went with, that was cool. And then when we actually all separated at the last bus stop, when I came back,
now you look like a crazy person.
And mind you, I came back from the hood, right? Or I live in the hood, right? Sort of.
Yeah.
These these fools just stared at me like, bruh, the fuck is going on with this dude?
When the ghetto meets cosplay.
Yeah, they're like, the fuck is up with this? Right? I heard one of them. Oh no, I straight up saw him. So I tried to look away, but what I was actually doing was I was looking into, because it was nighttime and like the mirrors, the glass is reflective. So I looked into the glass, and then I saw this dude. He gets on the bus. He looks at me, right?
Uh-huh.
And to me, it doesn't look like I'm looking at him. I am through the glass, but he doesn't know that. So he looks at me, and he just starts laughing, and then he leaves the bus.
Yeah, I got a few of that as well when I was in the subway. Some kids were laughing at me.
Speaking of kids, that's a weird thing to say.
Where are we gonna go with this one?
Don't worry. It's not like that. I'm not
like
that. It's not what you think it is. It's not what it looks
sure.
like.
I swear.
I love hearing that. It's not what it looks like. It's like, first things first, I'm blind. So what are you talking about?
Oh my god. I love hearing that and then hearing the person follow with, I swear.
I know. I've actually used that one time to avoid what I was seeing, because that's a different story from another.
Yeah.
I saw some shit that I wasn't supposed to see. Anyway, so my actual story. Speaking of kids, that story. What happened was I was dressed up as Deathstroke.
Okay.
So like a modern day ninja, I guess, for those who don't know what it looks like. And then I don't know why the fuck I agreed to this. My homegirl says, "Yo, I'll give you a ride to Anime North." I'm like, "Dope, yeah, just meet up at the back end of the school, of a fucking elementary school."
What the fuck is going on here? Okay.
No, because she forgot where I lived, but she knew that I lived around that elementary school, and that was the easiest way for her to
Oh
get
my
the car.
god, you showed up in the death trap.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What did she say to that?
Who, homegirl?
Yeah.
Nothing, because she's in costume too, so she doesn't give a fuck, I guess.
Okay.
But you know, but the fucked up thing is, I realized, oh shit, I look like my costume is legit enough, especially from afar, to look like I'm an actual like terrorist or some shit.
Yeah.
And these kids are staring at me because I guess I made sure that it wasn't recess time, but I guess like elementary, like younger kids, what's it called, kindergartners, like they get like another break time or whatever it's called, another recess or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, and then there's also like the supervising staff, right? So what I needed to do was I needed to make sure that I got the message across that I am in a costume and some sort of entertainer, but at the same time I needed to do so in such a way where I don't look like a fucking pedophile.
Oh my god.
Because if none of them acknowledged me, I would have just assumed that nothing happened and just walk away. But this kid was like, "Look, there's a ninja," and I'm like,
I mean, I think if you like struck a pose, all right, then everyone would understand that you're just like a performer or you're here in costume.
I gave like the peace sign because I'm like, no one could like, because if you think about it, a pedophile's not going to do that. A pedophile's fucking strange. You don't know what the fuck they're going to do. They're going to do some fucked up shit. But yeah, so I decided to throw a peace sign. So then it's like, okay, hopefully they don't mistake me for being like an actual like military ninja dude. And
that would be
like
really awkward.
Yeah, that would be really awkward. And then like the kids started waving at me, and I'm like, fuck, like. Why did I attract more attention to myself?
Oh my god. Now they're gonna walk up and ask for a photo, which is great. But that's
I wish
probably not what you wanted.
Well, kids don't have phones. Do they actually? I hope not.
Well, in this day and age, they probably do.
But they're like kindergarteners, I would assume. They're like maybe 4, 5, 6 at most, maybe.
I have seen like 4-year-olds with iPhones.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I walked away.
Yeah. Just leave.
No, but this is the more fucked up thing. I literally just realized this moment. I walked into a van.
Oh god damn it.
Like homegirl was driving a van.
That's so not cool, dude.
That's so sus.
That's so. Oh my god, that's so sketch. Like, what the fuck? Oh.
That's so suspect. Maybe I should have took more shame and just walked to like the corner mall instead of the fucking school.
In my honest opinion, though, I think it's totally fine because getting yourself out of that area was probably like the best thing to do at that point. But getting into a van.
No, I didn't realize homegirl was driving a van, so I called her. I'm like, so yeah, what is it? Oh yeah, it's just like a. I actually don't know what vehicle it was, but she's like, yeah,
it's a bread van.
This van. It's this van. So just hop on the van. I'm like, nah, what? Why? Out of all vehicles, it couldn't be like a Camry or some shit. Why'd it have to be a van? At least it wasn't a motorcycle.
If she brought in a Prius, would you get in?
I don't give a fuck. Sure, it's also not a van because a van looks sus as hell.
Well,
I'm just glad that it was like a regular like minivan rather than an actual like full moving van because that would look really like super suspect.
If it was like one of those industrial like white bread vans,
yeah. That shit would look sketchy as fuck. Hey, but at least I get to say I rode in a Mercedes, and I'm joking. I'm joking. So, no, but like, yo, if she pulled through with a Hummer though, that would have been sick.
Well, at that point,
that would raise
right,
more eyebrows, but that would look cool. In a costume roaming around in an elementary school.
There was a time, all right, when what was it? Remember when Suicide Squad was being shot in downtown Toronto, and like people saw the Batmobile?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Not in my area though. Shit.
Nah, don't know. So yeah.
But yeah, like now that I'm thinking about it, out of all fucking vehicular choices that she could have made,
I'm gonna make you ride in my bread van. Here,
I got the
here's
ninjas
your
in the
AK-47
bag
as well.
I got the ninjas in the bag.
No,
I don't know how the song goes.
Please.
Yeah, Shane hates the Old Town Road song.
It's just there's so many
mixed feelings. I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road, and I'm ride till I can't no more.
Please stop, please.
I got the costume in the bag.
I am begging you, please stop.
We actually did. We just like this year for Anime North, we just put all the costumes in the back and then suit up when we were there.
Yeah, no,
and that's so relaxing. Yeah, I got the costumes in the bag. Riding on a tractor, lean all in my bladder, cheating on my baby. You can go and
How do we transition this into what we were talking about earlier?
My life is a movie.
Oh my god! Stop fucking singing.
Cowboy hat and boobies. Wrangler hat from Gucci. Wrangler on my booty.
The idea of cowboy hats and booty is just like, what the fuck?
No. What? No. Cowboy hats from Gucci. Wrangler on my booty.
Oh, I thought it was cowboy hats and booty. I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that does sound. That sounds like someone trying to take a shit in their head.
But yeah.
Dope. I think that's all the time that we got for today. In fact, we actually went by limit so much that Kirby's probably gonna have to spend so much time chopping this shit up in the edit. But a fun Kawhi Leonard thing. Did you know, Shane? Because I know you don't watch basketball, do you?
No, not really.
We made it to the finals.
Yeah, I saw that. I know
in
that.
Fact, we're in game 2, right? In fact, game 2 just happened. Unfortunately, we lost game 2, but you know.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but it's still historic. Like there's this one like new era. They made this hat for for the Eastern champ, like the finals hat, bruh, all sold out everywhere. I couldn't even find it. Like homeboy hooked me up. Homeboy hooked me up. Otherwise, I would not have like got the hat.
Lucky.
Yeah, I searched everywhere, man. Like Sport Check didn't have it. Champs didn't have it. Lid said that they sold out instantly. I'm like, shit.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, that officially, with that said, ends this episode of the Ghetto Fabulous Podcast. We still don't have a schedule, but that will be it for today. So, Shane, is there anything else that you would like to say to the viewers, or I guess like the listeners?
Don't do drugs.
Well, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road, and I'ma ride till I can't no more.
And stress test everything. Yeah, that's it.
I got no horses in.
Please stop. All right.
Also, Ruby, remind me to tell you when we're recording these things because you keep on messaging us.
Maybe you can join us sometime. Who knows?
Anyways, yeah, have a good night or a good day, or we're gonna fuck off.
Yeah, see ya.